All right. Hello and welcome to our presentation on the effect of jumping jacks on heart rate between male and female students.
I'm Kenneth.
I'm Joseph.
I'm Brian.
I'm Mayte.
And I'm Elisa.
So, for our research question, we wanted to ask whether there was a significant difference between male and female students when performing a physical activity, such as jumping jacks.
And the purpose of our research is to conduct a scientific study to determine how jumping jacks, which is our preferred type of physical exercise, alters the heart rate. The purpose of this study is to collect empirical data and insights regarding the physiological response to exercise between male and female students. So, in this experiment, we wanted to prove health and fitness assessment between the two genders, and we also wanted to spread more awareness and education upon the differences between the male and female students' heart rates.
So, into background research, males and females obviously have different hearts. Their resting rates can be examined to figure out how healthy they are. And then males and females have different physiology makeups, as we said before. Males have bigger hearts and more muscular mass, and then their heart, which can affect their resting heart rate. Males have more volume and cardiac output than females, yet females have a greater ejection fraction range and heart rate than men. Females take longer to go from contraction to relaxation. And another event that we have is that lifestyle can also be a factor.
So, for our hypothesis, we had our null, where we assumed that the change between male heart rates would be equal to the change in female heart rates. And for our alternative hypothesis, the change between male heart rates and female heart rates will be unequal.
All right, so for our experimental design, we gathered 20 participants, 10 male and 10 females. So then we recorded each of their heart rates, resting heart rate with an Apple Watch, and we also recorded them after doing 30 jumping jacks. There was a lot of confounding variables such as age, the use of different Apple Watches, jumping jacks with different levels of intensity. For example, some people would do jumping jacks faster than others. Some people would do it slower. Sleep quality was also another factor because some people get 5 hours of sleep, so that means their heart rate will be higher than usual. Other people have it slower. And then we have medications. Some people can have asthma, which can result into breathing much faster, which contracts the heart rate being much faster. And we also have genetics. If your family's medical history is filled with heart problems that may slow your heart rate or increase your heart rate.
Okay, so now we have the male student data. Most of them are pretty similar. We have some outliers that only change heartbeat around 13, while some change around almost 60 or over 60.
And here we have the female student data. As we can see, along with the female student data, there's also a few inconsistencies throughout the data. Whereas we have several threes, so some people just had a three increase in their heart rate, while some females had over 50 beats changed after they're doing 30 jumping jacks.
So these are calculations, and X1 meaning men, and then X2 being females. So for the mean, we have 38.80, and then for females, we have 31.85. For males variance, we got 8.26. For females, we got 13.13. And then for standard deviation, for males, we have 2.87, and for females, we have 3.62.
We've also set our alpha value as 0.05 when we're gonna calculate our critical value.
And using these calculations, we put it through this independent t-test where the sample sizes being n are equal because we have 20 male students and 20 female students. Once we do all the calculations in this t-test, we get a t-statistic of 6.75. And using the corresponding degrees of freedom equation, which is n1 plus n2 minus 2, so 20 plus 20 minus 2, we get a degrees of freedom value of 38.
All right, so as Joseph said in the previous slide, how we got 38 degrees of freedom, we look at this little graph for the critical value, and we go down to where it says 38 as the V value. And as Brian said, we use the alpha value of 0.05. So when we look at the critical value of 1.686, and that will be explained on the next slide.
So after performing all the experiments and calculating, we saw that the male participants' heart rates increased somewhat after performing the jumping jacks. But the women, well, the females, had a greater increase in their heart rate after doing the jumping jacks. So we rejected the null hypothesis, and we concluded that our test was statistically significant.
And here are our citations, and also we have our website over here where you can find more information about our project. Thank you for listening.